Hey again, guys. Welcome to a special edition of Mailbag. This is part 1 of 2 of the parts I have purchased for 3D printer builds. So if you're watching this on YouTube, my Patreons have already seen all that you're seeing here, and they know that this project is going ahead. If you've seen mention of a project which we should not name or cannot name, this is the one. And unfortunately, due to COVID or Canada Post or a mix of both, I actually had to pay shipping for every single item in this mailbag.
Okay, and as we can see, something's not right. I'm sensing a disturbance in the force.
The sheer amount of parts for this build is insane. That's why this has to be a two-parter. But let's get started over here. There's 2 items in here, $13.88 and $9.88. And the deal was that I think this is a pricing error, because this being only $10, these are both identical products, is because one of these had a coupon on it. But even at $13.88, I feel like the price is too low. But whatever, pricing error or not, I've got it now. Oh boy, they're in individual bags. So this here is a heated bed for a 3D printer. But not just any heated bed. This is an aluminum one. And even now, looking at the prices, they're about like $30 to $40 each minimum. And for some reason these things were on for $13.88, and I got a $4 coupon off one of them. So yeah, these are, well, they're a bit scuffed here, but maybe that's okay. But yeah, they're basically a track. I don't know if you can really see that, but they're a track of wires going on, and they're 12-volt things, and they're actually on a aluminum substrate. So the plan, do they have a coating on top? I don't know if that's a PEI coating or if that's just protective. I think it's just protective. So yeah, the plan is, because you guys know the 3D printer is going to be 500 mils by 300 mils. The plan is to actually grab 2 of these and adhere them to a piece of tempered glass, sort of like this. So adhere this whole surface here, have my temperature sensor right here in the middle, and then level the corners, here and here. So actually these things will be supported by the glass and not actually supporting the glass. So it was far cheaper to get these 2 220 by 220 heated bed platforms than it was to get one single one the size I needed. So these things these are 12-volt devices. Yeah, I think the listing said it was a 12-volt device. So they have the hole there for the thermistor, but that's not where the thermistor is going to be. It's going to be out here somewhere. Oh, there's a little bit of a scuff there. Okay, gonna have to be careful with that. Even the corners are a little knackered here. See that? That's not that big of a deal as long as this side is flat. This side is flat. Anyways, I got a solution to adhere it. But anyways, they're 12 volts. If I decide to go with a 12-volt system, then I'll just wire these things in parallel. So both the positives will come onto these positives, both the negatives will be onto these negatives. And if I decide to go with a 24-volt system, I'm actually going to go into the positive with 24 volts, out of the negative, into the positive, out of the negative. So they're going to be in series. So having these 2 beds does allow me to have a little bit more flexibility on top of that. So that's pretty neat. I'm really glad I picked these up. They were a really good price, and they came from Amazon. So I've had these sitting around for a while. So I'm actually excited that I have them out and about now, and I can take a look at them. So let's move on to the next one. Next one up is this one here. I've spent a lot of money on this one. So ordered November 11th, got it November 30th, paid $90.37. These devices are expensive, and I might actually, there's 5 in here I think, and I may need to order one more because I guess I didn't think out my design as well as I had hoped. So yeah, these are, I think they're the most expensive mailbag item this far. I was a little bit nervous spending this much money on AliExpress, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Unwrap this. Alright, should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are linear rails. So a lot of 3D printers use pulley systems and sort of V-grooves in aluminum. But the thing is, those extrusions are very expensive. These are very expensive as well, but I believe I can get more precision out of these things, and it allows me to use sort of any hardware that I want. Like, I can even build the frame out of wood if I really wanted to, because the precision and the straightness comes from these rails and not from the actual extrusions. So these are some blocks. Oh, these are coated in oil. Fantastic. The biggest thing I wanted to feel is how smooth they are. They're pretty smooth. Do they have any? They have no play. They have absolutely no play. They're not. I feel some rough spots here and there. So they're not extremely smooth, but they're not bad. So basically, the deal is I had to order a couple to span sort of, if you think of the 3D printer bed as being over here, I needed to order a couple of these to span sort of this way and have the gantry move sort of like that, like up and down. And then I have a long one here This is 550 mils. So this one would span across sort of, actually I could put it on here. It would span sort of this way. So these guys would move up and down like that. And then this guy with the print head would move this way. So that's kind of like my two directions set up, except that it's going to be even further apart. Let me get you the visual here. So I am sort of zoomed out as far as I can go here. But yeah, basically the bed will be here. These guys will move this way, and this guy will move this way. And there's a lot of people that see that linear rails increase precision in 3D prints because you don't have to like squeeze the heck out of a device to sort of make up the slack of the rails. So yeah, this is going to be it. And in fact, I think these long ones are meant to go over here to support the bed going up and down. But and these shorter ones here go like this, or vice versa, one of the two. But yeah, so my mistake. Here's my mistake real quick. What had happened is I've designed it for the long gantry to go this way, when really I think I should have got two of these long ones to go across this way and have a short gantry move this way. That's design issues that we'll talk about in a different video though. Just wanted to let you guys know. Let's move on to the next one. Next one up is this one here. I had to open it because it didn't quite make sense with the tracking number. Hopefully I didn't show too much of that because my marker is running out. So 2651. And there's just a catalog in here. And these guys are the actual heat cartridges for the 3D printer. So these would actually slide into the hot end here. They have a little Molex connector, and a little extension to get all the way to your main board. But I find it funny because this one here has just stripped ends. That's all it has. This one here has crimps at the end. I don't know if you can see those. I don't want to get them mixed up because this one is 24 volts and this one is 12 volts because I haven't decided what I'm doing yet. But yeah, see that one has little crimps at the end. Interesting. So as much as I'd love to fire this up, I don't think you're supposed to heat them up without PWM control. So you're just going to have to look at it and marvel, because these are the heater cartridges for the 3D printer. And because I want to get this project done, I bought both the 12 and the 24 volt because I haven't decided what voltage I'm running. I really want to run 24 volts, but there are a couple things that you probably won't see in this edition of this mailbag, but in the next one that may stop me from using 24 volts. So yeah, heater cartridges. Stuff is starting to happen. Let's go on to the next one. Next one up is this one here. November 12th to 23rd. There are 3 things in here: 2685, 1213, and 336. The problem is, I think one of these is actually a duplicate. Actually, I think I accidentally bought 2 of the same thing. Okay, first thing is these silicone covers. These are for a E3D V6. That's the hot end that I have already. So apparently it keeps the hot end hot for longer. Better heat stuff. And at the same time, it doesn't allow filament to stick to it, which is great. These things were the $3.36, so 3 of them. They were $1 each. Yeah, I did order doubles. I'm confused. Did they send me 6 silicone covers? Weird. But anyways, yeah, these are some more heater cartridges. These were far cheaper. Yeah. Again, bought 24 volts. I have 2 at 24 volts and 2 at 12 volts. So, whoops, too many heater cartridges. But these guys here, these are supposed to be hardened steel nozzles. If I'm going to build a fancy 3D printer, I want to be able to do sort of any material that I choose. And these hardened steel nozzles are supposed to be for abrasive materials like glow-in-the-dark materials, or even stuff with fiber, like carbon fiber inlay and stuff like that. They're apparently terrible at heat transfer, so you're only supposed to use them in certain situations. But here's a magnet. Let's see if they're actually steel. Yeah, they're steel. So yeah, they're supposed to be way harder than the brass ones that come with most 3D printers, and mine included. I got a whole bunch. So yeah, I got silicone covers for E3D V6. Or is this different? Oh, these are different. Okay. So I bought silicone covers for the hot end that I do have. I also bought silicone covers for the hot end I have not received yet. And to know what my fancy hot end will be, you'll have to either know this shape or wait. But yeah, basically, this one even, the silicone cover covers the nozzle except for the very little hole where it's going to protrude. So that should be quite interesting. Let me get you a closer view on these things. Here's my E3D V6, or a clone of it at least, and one of these is made for this hot end. Is it this one? Well, it looks like it fits. So yeah, you can see it just leaves a little nubbin out here, and I have to get this leg into its spot. So yeah, that's for this. This here is for my new hot end. As you can see, it does not fit here. Leaves a little open for the screw here, but yeah, it doesn't fit on this. So I'm actually going to be really interested to know if you guys can figure out what hot end I'm getting just from this silicone cover. And this guy here should be the correct size for this E3D V6. I think so. But yeah, I think this qualifies as an all-metal hot end. So I might try to bump this up to high temperatures and print exotics on my current 3D printer, but that's all a question for a different day. Let's keep moving on. And the last package for episode 1 of 2 of 3D printer parts, $11.80, November 11th to November 30th. Oh yes. This is the last piece of the low-cost 3D printer build that I needed, or not that I needed, but I wanted. So this here is the LCD screen. Let's get this peel off here. So this is the LCD screen that goes on a ramps board. So this will plug into the end there. Got a little knob for the, this is an encoder. You got this for mounting it to a board. You've got these two cables here to speak to this guy. So yeah, oh, and on top of that, it adds the SD card functionality. I was considering not bothering with adding a screen to the ramps board because it is a cheap 3D printer, but for $12 extra having the SD card and the LCD being able to control it directly, I think that's a good deal. Let me see if I can grab the ramps board and assemble it. And here is the ramps board, and this would connect over here on this kind of like auxiliary side. Problem with the ramps board is that there's so many pins, it's easy to get them crooked, and then these things don't fit together. But once I assemble this, once I assemble this, I don't think I'm going to be taking it apart again. Yeah, definitely some bent pins here. So I'm really not sure that this is a good experience, because no matter where you buy your ramps, you're going to have to get it shipped. And shipping damage on all these pins like is almost a certainty. Look at that. And these pins, don't know if you can tell. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Don't know if you can tell, but these pins here are kind of canted this way. So this might actually be much harder than I anticipated to assemble. There we go. I got it in. It should be pretty good. Change the focus a bit. There we go. And now these wires should be the same. They have a lock, or a little guidance pin right there. They go one direction only. Certainly don't fit in there super well. There we go, that one's in. Grab this guy here, that one's in. Okay, and these should fit into this little expansion. They do. And this whole thing should be controlled with a Arduino Mega. My Mega is out doing other things right now, so it's not in here. But you know, usually if you were a person like, let's say, another maker, you'd have a Mega flashing an LED for you. Okay, and then this knob. I don't like this knob because it has the pointer on a rotary encoder. Typically the pointer is not used, so I'll probably get a different knob, but there we go. That's kind of the whole assembly of the ramps board. I got the A4988 steppers on here, stepper drivers, and I'm going to use this board pretty much stock, except I've got a broken fuse here, or resettable fuse. I'm going to replace that with automotive fuses, and I think, yeah, I'm going to run it as just like this for the cheap setup. When I step up to something more expensive, I'm going to replace these guys here with off-board MOSFETs, and I'm going to replace these stepper drivers with quiet stepper drivers, but that's all for the future. So this is an absolute king's ransom worth of stuff. Stuff has already started coming in for episode 2 of this mailbag, so I want to give a special thanks to my Patreon patrons who are watching this early right now. And it's your encouragement and your funding that allows me to do these cool projects, be more ambitious than I've ever been, and hopefully not end up to garbage at this. For my viewers, though, if you guys do want to support me and don't want to throw $1 into the Patreon hat, then you can share this with your friends, like, and make sure that you are subscribed. Either way, though, thanks so much for watching.